Alex Golesh speaking to media members down in Mobile. I think one thing is clear. He's still confident with how his plan is going.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zach Blackerby. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. It's a Charlie Tuesday on a Friday. Kyle Rush, also known as the Charlie 5 Auburn message board legend, the man over the bar on auburn.com. He hosts the Top Button podcast, hanging out with us for a few minutes. So we finally got to hear from Alex Golesh again. After all the portal craziness, he talked to media down in Mobile outside of the Senior Bowl for about 12 minutes or so. And one overarching theme, and yes, he was asked other stuff about tampering and what he thought about, the state of college athletics and all that. Not going to spend a ton of time on that. We talk about that more on tomorrow morning's edition of Locked On Auburn. But the overarching theme here is he still seems very confident with his plan, whether it's his plan, his staff's plan, and the overall execution. And I think that includes a lot of things, Kyle. I think that includes, rebuilding his roster, bringing a lot of South Florida guys with him, whatever it may be. The confidence in his plan still seems very, very present.
Yeah, and he used terms like invaluable when he talked about like the having a center and quarterback that have played together. He said about
monumental.
Monumental, that's what it was. Monumental to have something like that, help you sleep at night. Yeah. Clearly things went the way he thought it would go. He made some really good comments too on the running back room that I'm sure we'll talk about, where it's like, man, at one moment you're like, what are we going to do here? And then all of a sudden it's like, this could be one of the best position groups in the room, in the whole team. I would say things from Alex Golesh's perspective seemed like it went exactly as close to his plan as possible.
Yeah. I mean, his posture doesn't change much. His tone doesn't change much when you ask him certain questions. But the question where he was asked, I think he was asked in the context of like the install, how he felt and how important it was with just from an install point of view to have a center and your quarterback already know the offense. And that's where he started kind of gushing about the familiarity of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like it's probably the most fired up I've seen him answer a question so far, as far as just energy and almost relaxing and just kind of like almost raw, just joy with the fact that he has Byrum Brown and Cole Best on the roster.
There's so many things. There's so many things when you take a new job that you have to balance. Like you got to, there's so many things that are going on. There's so many things you have to do, so many boxes you have to check. I mean, I think the Cole Best edition may be the most undervalued addition on the whole team. And he could possibly be the second best offensive player added, and the connection between quarterback and center. We saw just this past year what happens when a center goes down that you have a relationship with. I thought Cale Ellis played great for the situation that he was put in, but there was some communication stuff and some snap things. Like just imagine like being able to you just check that off the box. Like you check that box, you don't have to worry about that. I gotta imagine that feels good in today's game.
Yeah. And then at the end of that answer, he kind of realized he was gassing up Cole Best. And he's like, and he's got some interior versatility as well as other guys do, which I think is his way of saying Cale Ellis might get a chance to play guard, I think is what that actually meant.
That's kind of what it sounded like to me as well. The versatility's there, but you can tell that's the plan. The plan is Cole Best is the center, and obviously Byrum Brown is his guy. So that's good stuff.
What do you think the interior O-line is based off of that? So Cole Best at center. Is Cale Ellis the favorite to win a guard spot, or is it a transfer? Or is it Jacoby Ward, or is it Ty Buster?
You'd have to give the edge to the transfer, right? Because, Jacob Strand and Jack per year, or however you say his last name.
Jack, I think it's pronounced Layer. And
Layer,
then,
that's
and
right.
then Cole Skinner is another.
And then Cole Skinner, like those guys have the most experience, and a lot of them have starter experience. They've started games.
Kenneth McManus played 500 snaps at guard at Akron last year
As a freshman. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think there is a favorite. I would say if you had to give a favorite, it would be one of the transfers. But
you would have told me that there was a solid chance Kel Ellis is not a starter coming out of spring a month ago, I wouldn't have believed you.
That's a very, very good point. And I will say this, if he does earn one of those spots, he's a freaking player. And there, it won't be for lack of effort, because that kid is going to grind, man, to get his shot. So if he wins one of those spots, that is huge for Auburn moving forward as far as interior offensive linemen.
Yeah.
I don't know I don't know what to expect out of Ty Buster and Jacoby Ward. I mean, Ty Buster kind of worked his way into being maybe even like a backup or like 2B offensive tackle last year because of some injuries and things like that. So what does that look like, or what does that mean for his future too? I mean, he's obviously got that versatility, and he's a dog too. So there's you've screwed around, and you got a pretty good offensive line battle on your hands. It's deep.
Yeah. I mean, and that's where I'm like, I don't think any of them are all Americans or anything like that. But I think you got a lot of guys where, okay, I could see how this could come together and be a solid offensive line.
Yep.
I spoke with Eric Kane. We recorded a show for him. He wanted to have me on to talk about what Kane Lee brings to the Tennessee defense or whatever. We were just chit-chatting about Golesh afterwards. And I just asked him, like, point blank, how talented do the individual offensive linemen have to be with this system? And he's like, they don't. They just have to be in shape and not make mistakes. The upside of talent, like, I think the scheme covers up a lot.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I saw a graphic, and I think South Florida last year was the second fastest between snaps of anybody in the country. So just with that right there, that's going to help in and of itself as far as protection goes, because that's the way this offense is built, to kind of predicate on catching people off guard and moving the chains and getting the ball snapped. So I'm with you. And I wonder the same thing with wide receivers. I wonder if that's if it's a similar thing with wide receivers.
Yeah. I mean, we saw that at Tennessee, that was the case. Hyatt kind of the face of it, but it's not like he's turned out to be some unguardable NFL receiver. I think a lot of that ended up being scheme. Or did he just go to the Giants? That one's kind of a tough situation. If he goes to the Chiefs and Mahomes is throwing to him, is it different? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. I want to jump into other things that Golesh said that stood out to us in just a moment right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. You got one more opportunity to bet on a football game this season. Of course, the Super Bowl. The Seattle Seahawks, a 4.5-point favorite over my New England Patriots. Super Bowl 60. FanDuel's making sure you're right in the middle of it with just a special offer for the biggest game of the year. If you're a new customer, you can bet just $5 and you get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count, because after the Super Bowl, the season is over. Last call for football on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Kia Autosport of Columbus. We love Kia, and we love the folks at Kia Autosport Columbus because they take care of you. I've had folks reach out saying, hey, I told them I listened to Locked On Auburn. They took $500 off their purchase. I've had folks compliment them and say, thank you for pointing me that direction. We were in the market for a new vehicle. We drove 20, 30 minutes away from the Auburn Opelika area to see them in Columbus, Georgia. And it was an incredible, incredible experience. You should do the same. They totally get that buying a car is a big decision. They don't pressure you. They give you all the information that you need and are very competitive with their prices. You can browse their inventory at KiaAutosportColumbus.com today, or go see them right off of Whittlesey Boulevard in Columbus, Georgia. Kyle Rush of the Barn hanging out with us. I'm Zach Blackerby. One of the first, it might have been the first question that he was asked, that Alex Golesh was asked in Mobile was, okay, like, it seems like y'all are about done. Are you done? And the graphic that they put out on Instagram later that day kind of hints that they're done, but did kind of say, Yeah, we've saved ourselves some room just in case other guys become available. So assuming that this is done, minus a few maybe depth pieces that are added, it seems like they're confident with this portal class, Kyle.
Yeah, and I think they took some swings. I think they took some swings at some guys late, and maybe some of them didn't work out for different reasons. But yeah, I feel like they're good with where they are. You still maybe are battling to see if you can get Chris Murray back, and he kind of put out a little graphic, or he was commenting on a live stream that made it look like he may be close to getting good news. And if that happens, it changes everything.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Defensive line goes, but like even if that doesn't happen, could there be some JUCO guys that pop up that he mentioned, or some high school guys? They left themselves room, but when you leave yourself room, it means you feel pretty good about what you got, and anything else would be, I guess, gravy or a bonus. So I think they feel pretty good about it.
I know the fan base is somewhat split on this. Going back to what we just mentioned a second ago, he is so confident about the guys he's bringing from South Florida to here.
Yeah.
He's so confident about it. And I would be concerned about that if he hadn't have already coached and won at the SEC. Mm-hmm. If the Tennessee tenure did not happen, I'd be like, but he knows. He knows what it takes to have a successful team in the SEC. He had the best offense in college football at Tennessee one of the years that he was calling plays there. So that's kind of what gives me peace. I don't know. It seems a little dramatic, but I do think that is a big part of this.
Totally. He is the transition doesn't necessarily worry him at all. The step up in competition doesn't seem to bother him at all. He really bragged on Nakai Davenport too. Like he kind of singled him out. I mean, I know he was specifically asked about running backs, but I didn't realize he's so young. So like he's got multiple years left. You brought a bunch of guys, not only for like 1 year plug and plays, you brought a bunch of guys to be sort of like the core of this team moving forward. And I think that says even more so than finding, maybe even more so than a Byrum Brown, who's a 1 year, one and done, your best player, a one and done. It's also bringing in these guys that are going to be pillars, I guess, of the culture, maybe moving forward for multiple years.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that a ton with the true sophomore class. You can say the same with redshirt freshmen that he brought over too. I mean, I'm just looking at it. Pretty much every position has guys that you've either brought over as a true sophomore or as a redshirt freshman. I think all of them.
A lot of them.
Because linebacker you brought in. No, linebacker's the only one, but you're still fine at linebacker. But I think every other position, you either brought in a sophomore or a redshirt freshman, which is exciting. So, and I think some of those guys will play right away and some will play in 2027, which is fine. It's part of it. You lost a lot. You had to backfill. I think that part makes sense. So
100%.
Anything else that he said stand out to you? I don't really want to jump into the tampering and stuff. I'll do that on tomorrow's show.
Yeah. Well, there was some good content in there to talk about.
Do you think he was calling out Ole Miss?
No, in a way, but it also kind of seemed like, hey, if we got to do what we got to do too. Like in other words, we can, if that's the way it's going to be played, we can do it too, kind of thing.
Right. How can people check out everything you've got going on?
Yeah, absolutely. Go to the barnauburn.com and sign up today. The Barn Auburn YouTube page. The Barn Podcast Network, anywhere you get a podcast. And if you need a good realtor in the Auburn, Opelika area, hit me up too. Kyle Rush at kw.com. Would love to help you buy, build, sell, or invest in this area. Yeah, it doesn't matter what kind of real estate. You're over all of it, right? Every bit of it. Yep. Yeah. Hit up Kyle. Get you a house sold or bought. He's got you. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked on Auburn.